Did you see the guy from Empire's speech, like interview?
Yes. Wow. Yes.
Like that seems almost like he's not pretending. Like if he's pretending, he's doing a better job acting than Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, Terrence Howard, the guy who interviewed me for Rolling Stone, told me that Terrence Howard is like a legitimate genius. Like he's like, you talk to the guy is absolutely brilliant.
Maybe he figured it all out.
It wasn't like nonsense talk.
Right.
He was like, oh, this is like shockingly coherent for a ridiculous thing to say.
Our DNA is made up of what? 5 elements, right? Hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and oxygen. Do you know how they're arranged? The phosphorus sits right here in the middle, and you've got 4 oxygen atoms surrounding it. Then there's another phosphorus, 2 more oxygen atoms. Now these are the legs of that double helix. These are the legs. Now the latter steps on it, they become the adenine, the guanine, the cytosine, and thymine, the ATCGs. It turns out hydrogen, they used to think that energy, the body transferred or understood the energy information through electricity. They're finding out it's through frequency. Well, guess what hydrogen sounds like? It's a key of E, and it's a color yellow. That's what proper physics gets you to. Oxygen is a chartreuse, and it's the key of F over F sharp. Now they used to, like I said, information used to be thought about as just electrical information passing on. But I've got a question for you. Have you ever been at a party with some of your friends you ain't seen in 10 years, but y'all was like 14, you hung out and there's a song that came on and you're like, and everybody got up and was live at that moment. Now say 10 years later you got a friend with you, he's a good guy, but he wasn't there when me and my boys formed this. So when that song comes on, our DNA tightens. There's a particular song, a scale in the genomes for each and every one of us. Now, when that song is played, when your particular prime resonant frequency is played, guess what happens? Your DNA celebrates and tightens. Everything else gets pushed out. Harmonic wave resequencing. The carbon is also the key of E and yellow. The nitrogen is G. And all these play a song. So say that the F over F sharps of the oxygen, the green, is only hitting at an F. Why? Because there's another frequency coming in from a generator over there. That's changing and causing it to change. The F hits the carbon, so instead of hitting as an F sharp, it hits as an F, so when it hits the carbon at an E, it doesn't hit it quite right, so the domino don't file right. So the next domino hits wrong. And so now we have malformation happening within our DNA because the frequencies are being pushed off. But when we hear our tone, we tighten back up. So yeah, I'm in the process of building the harmonic wave resequencer with another doctor who has been able to successfully cure AIDS and cancer. And it's well underway. But I wanted you guys to understand how that works. It's so simple. You do not need to tear the human body apart when all you can do is use frequency to bring it back to its normal space.
Throughout history, numerous individuals who have ventured beyond the conventional paradigms of science and society have often found their theories marginalized, their voices silenced. This pattern raises crucial questions about the nature of progress and the suppression of innovative ideas. Take, for instance, Nikola Tesla, whose profound genius revolutionized the world of physics and engineering. After his death, it's widely reported that many of his papers and research notes were confiscated by government agencies. The full extent of Tesla's work remains shrouded in mystery, fueling speculation that some of his revolutionary ideas were too transformative or too threatening to be released to the public. Similarly, the curious case of Royal Raymond Rife, who claimed his Rife machine could cure cancer with frequency therapy, was met with considerable skepticism and legal challenges, leading to the eventual downfall of his research. Critics argue his science was flawed, while supporters suggest his work was undermined by a medical industry that felt threatened by his claims. Moving into the realm of entertainment and social influence, actor Terrence Howard presents a contemporary example. Known for his acting career, Howard's recent foray into the realm of alternative physics has been met with both intrigue and disdain. Whether his theories on the structure of DNA and its relation to frequencies hold water is subject to scientific scrutiny. Still, his abrupt descent from Hollywood raises eyebrows. It suggests a pattern where celebrities who diverge from their expected roles and advocate for radical ideas quickly find themselves ostracized.
I want you guys to know about a 6,000-year-old secret. 6,000 years, mankind has been trying to decipher this one little thing called the flower of life. Have you guys ever seen this before? Now, you know this is one of the oldest symbols in human history, right? This symbol was found in the Temple of Osiris in Egypt, and it had been molecularly burned into the wall. And it's 6,000 years old. This same symbol has been found in the forbidden temples in China, sitting under the fufu dogs. And the foot on it, the flower of life, saying whoever controlled that flower of life controlled the universe. There were secrets in that flower of life that Da Vinci spent his whole life trying to uncover. There were secrets in that flower of life that Newton spent his whole life in secret trying to uncover. The same secrets that Pythagoras was desperately trying to uncover. But their problem was they kept seeing this in a two-dimensional space. They couldn't get it out of this two-dimensional frame, and as a result, they got stuck in this plane, a flat plane. Now, what Da Vinci and all of them wanted to do, they were trying to find a way to bring this flower to life, because what is inside of it? Well, apparently, there were secrets inside of it. Shapes, they got the Merkaba and all of those other things out of it. But they were misled by something I think called a straight line. You guys believe in straight lines? You believe there's straight lines in the universe? Well, let me hit you with something. All energy in the universe is expressed in what? It's in motion. If something is still, there's no energy. Kinetic, right? All motion is expressed in what? You look at galaxies. Are they expressed in straight lines? Expressed in vortices. All vortices are expressed in what? Waves. All waves are curved. Show me a straight line in nature. You show me where the platonic solids come from. Where do they have their foundations in our universe? Are there any straight lines? If you look at anything, there are no straight lines. That's been the mistake. We've been looking at these straight lines, this Euclidean way of thinking, and missing the curvature of nature. So here we are, back with the curvature of nature. And you have all these little pieces. Now, this has always been an information system. So compare some of these points. Take a point here and say, well, what's the space in between all of these things? Now, they've said that all the in-between spaces, if this is the Earth and this is the moon right here, all this in-between space is filled with what? A void. There's nothing in the void. Well, I found that there is something in the void. The elementary fundamental particles that they've been searching for at the CERN Collider, the Hadron Collider in CERN, I found that their energy signatures matched perfectly to some of the pieces that I was able to pull out of here.
As we delve into the 6,000-year-old secret of the flower of life, we uncover a journey that intertwines the quests of great minds like Da Vinci, Newton, and Pythagoras with the modern rethinking of geometry. The flower of life, an intricate symbol composed of multiple evenly spaced, overlapping circles, is more than just a mesmerizing design. It's a portal into the ancient understanding of the universe. Its presence in the Temple of Osiris in Egypt and in hidden temples under the watchful eyes of food dogs in China signals a universal reverence. This symbol, believed to represent the fundamental forms of space and time, is a visual expression of the connections life weaves through all sentient beings, hinting at the underlying unity of the cosmos. Terrence Howard's admiration for the symbol is not an isolated phenomenon. History tells us of great minds who also pondered over its significance. Leonardo da Vinci, a polymath of the Renaissance era, is known for his extensive studies of the flower of life. Da Vinci's sketches reveal his fascination with its geometric perfection and potential to unlock the secrets of the universe. Similarly, Sir Isaac Newton, in his quest to understand gravitational force and the mechanics of the cosmos, delved into ancient knowledge and symbols, including the flower of life. It suggested that Newton's famed discovery of gravity was part of a larger pursuit to decipher the cosmic puzzle embedded in ancient symbols. Pythagoras, the Greek mathematician, also journeyed through these mystical realms, using geometric principles to understand the harmonies of music and the structure of the universe. But what Howard brilliantly highlights is the limitation these great minds faced, their confinement within two-dimensional perspectives. Despite their genius, they grappled with the symbol's profundity, unable to fully transcend its planar representation. This is where Howard's critique of traditional Euclidean geometry opens a new avenue of understanding. Euclidean geometry, the bedrock of much of our mathematical and scientific understanding, focuses on flat, two-dimensional planes. However, the universe, as Howard eloquently points out, isn't confined to flatness. It's a dance of curves, waves, and multidimensional forms. The flower of life thus becomes a gateway to understanding the curvature of nature. When we look at the spirals of galaxies or the intricate patterns of a nautilus shell, we see not straight lines, but curves. This realization has profound implications. It suggests that the universe operates not just in the realms of the flat and linear, but in dimensions that our ancestors possibly tried to communicate through symbols like the flower of life. Howard's speech resonates with the modern scientific understanding of the universe. The curved space-time continuum, a fundamental concept in Einstein's theory of relativity, echoes this ancient wisdom. The curvature of space and time around massive objects like stars and galaxies isn't just theoretical, it's observable. The warping of light around massive objects, known as gravitational lensing, is a testament to the universe's curved nature. Furthermore, Howard's insights find parallels in the realm of quantum physics. The elusive nature of elementary particles, their existence in probabilities rather than definite positions, aligns with the idea of a universe beyond straight lines and predictable paths. This is where Howard's theory about finding something in the void becomes particularly intriguing. The void, often thought of as empty space, could be teeming with these fundamental particles, invisible threads weaving the fabric of the universe. The flower of life, therefore, is not just an ancient symbol, but a representation of the universe's deepest secrets. The 6,000-year-old secret isn't just about a geometric pattern, it's about the very nature of reality itself. It's a symbol that has transcended millennia, bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and modern scientific understanding.
I've spent 45 years searching these things out and trying to figure out what the universe really, how it really worked. And we've come to find that the universe, they are abandoning the standard model, the ideas of black holes and dark matter, for an electric model of the universe. There's tons of paperwork of Da Vinci working on the flower of life and trying to unravel it. But every single existence, every single example, you see him making straight lines and trying to make these straight lines bend in, and therefore he was never able to open it up. Because all the universe is curved, all space is curved. And as a result, what I was doing in trying to find these straight lines, I abandoned the idea of the straight line. The shortest distance between 2 points is curved space, because you cannot force your way straight through space. Even electricity, as it moves from a southern plane to a northern plane, it always goes northeast in its direction. And magnetism, as it expands out, it goes southwesterly. And that's the spin. That's how you always know whether it's magnetism or electricity. It's the spin. Is it northeast or is it southwest? But in trying to define the spaces, it allowed me to see that all of these in between, what we have been dealing with is these petals. All of mankind have dealt with these petals, but it's these other shapes that we've ignored constantly. Well, those other shapes were the in-between spaces. They were the things that filled up the vacuum of space. And all these particles that I have, I think are the full proof of that. And it is also the full proof of the wave particle argument.
In the heart of this exploration lies the fundamental principle that all energy in the universe is in perpetual motion. This motion manifests in vortices, waves, and spirals rather than straight lines. Modern physics, with its study of galaxies and celestial bodies, supports this view. Galaxies do not arrange themselves in straight paths, but in swirling spirals and elliptical orbits, a pattern mimicked in the structure of the DNA helix and the spiraling arms of hurricanes. Howard's perspective resonates deeply with this view, suggesting a universal pattern of motion and energy that is curved and cyclic. The wave-particle duality in quantum mechanics, a concept that posits particles as both discrete entities and probabilistic waves, further illustrates this departure from straight-line thinking. This duality challenges our conventional understanding of motion and trajectory, proposing that at the fundamental level, the universe expresses itself in probabilities and patterns that defy straightforward categorization. Moving from the macrocosmic to the microcosmic, we delve into nature's curves, seeking the essence of the universe. This chapter explores how the natural world embodies the curved, nonlinear geometry that Howard emphasizes. From the majestic sweep of rivers to the delicate curl of a fern's frond, nature abounds with curves and spirals. These patterns are not arbitrary, but follow mathematical principles such as fractal geometry and the Fibonacci sequence. Fractal geometry, with its self-repeating patterns, offers a window into the infinite complexity of nature. These fractals are evident in the branching of trees, the structure of snowflakes, and the rugged contours of mountain ranges. The Fibonacci sequence, another mathematical pattern, manifests in the arrangement of seeds in a sunflower, the spirals of a snail's shell, and the proportions of the human body. These patterns reveal a hidden order in nature, an order that transcends the straight lines of Euclidean geometry. Howard's perspective on the absence of straight lines in nature aligns with these observations. By recognizing the curved and recursive patterns that govern the natural world, we gain insight into the essence of the universe. These patterns are not mere coincidences, but are reflective of deeper, universal principles that govern the growth, structure, and movement of everything in the cosmos. As we delve deeper into this exploration, we prepare to encounter a concept that further challenges our conventional understanding of mathematics and its application to the physical world. Terrence Howard, in his insightful speech, introduces us to a fascinating aspect of this hidden order: the concept of mathematical loops. This intriguing idea, exemplified by the looping behavior of the square root of 2, reveals an unexpected and seemingly paradoxical nature of mathematical operations.
Our planet is moving away from our sun at 6 inches a year. You guys know that. 15 centimeters a year, our planet is pushing away from the sun. So in less than 500 million years, our planet will be out of the Goldilocks zone. Will be somewhere near where Mars is, somewhere halfway between there. So life will not be able to be sustained on this planet anymore. So if we're going to be able to sustain ourselves as a species, we have to become interstellar. Not just interplanetary, you have to become interstellar. But with approximations, you cannot become interstellar. You cannot become interstellar with a point that will take you all the way over here with a straight line when the actual event is taking place over here. When you're going 600 quadrillion miles, you can't make a mistake. You need precision, and that's what the math is about. But all of these wave conjugations, all of these states of matter, all of these things, there's time, it's time for that to be changed now. We have changed all of our buildings to be aerodynamic. Our airplanes are no longer based on a two-dimensional Euclidean way of life, but our math is still based on a two-dimensional way. And I think in order for us to reach the future, we have to examine that. Do you guys know about loops in math? Do you believe in loops? Do you know the square root of 2? Do you think that's a loop? Do you believe that the square root of 2 is the square root of 2? I want y'all to take out your phone for a minute then. We're gonna do one thing. Put it on the calculator and turn it to the side so you can get all the long numbers out of it. Now I want you to put in 2 and square root it. 2, hit the square root, you'll get 1.414213562373095 ... right? Now I want you guys to do me a favor, cube it. It'll see right over there, it'll be x to the 3. It'll see 2.828427121746190. Now that makes sense. I want you guys to do me a favor, divide it by 2, get that number, cube it again, divide it by 2, cube it again, and I want you to do that until the end of your lives. And that number will still come up with 2.828427121746190. Any other number that you, above 2, that you put in and you cube and you cube and square and divide by 2, by the 6th operation, it has moved into an exponential number that you can't even imagine. Any number below 2 that you do that same operation with, it will go into an exponentially small matter and number. This is what we call a loop. It is illogical, it doesn't make sense, and it does not make math make sense. So these are some things that I'm bringing to the fore and that I would like to question. I would like to audit the math, the world of mathematics, and I would like to audit how we view the Platonic solids, because I think the new wave conjugations will tell a better story of how our world works.
And I think it's time to start right at the very beginning and walk through this thing. So the question for the Church of Truth, Love, and Consciousness and all those listening, does $1 times $1 equal $1, or does $1 times $1 equal $2? I have never seen anywhere in the universe where an action times an action doesn't have a reaction. So now that's why we need to discuss this and examine it and how they came up with this strange number which is illogical, because a length times a length has to have an area. So you can't have a 1 times 1 equaling 1, because now what happened to the length times the length? The area is no longer in existence.
Terrence starts by posing an intriguing question. Money can't be multiplied, or can it? A penny times a penny equals what? Since the penny is no longer based upon the hard asset of gold and is now based upon an imaginary value that is equal to a virtual value of the integers or numbers, then it follows 1 penny times 1 penny equals 1 penny, according to the rules of current mathematics and multiplication. 1 penny times 1 penny equals 2 pennies, according to the laws of universal mathematics. 1 penny times 1 penny equals 0.0001. According to a calculator, a penny times a penny, 0.01 times 0.01 equals 0.001. Does a penny times a penny equal 1 penny based upon the rules of multiplication? Or does a penny times a penny equal 0.0001 based upon our current decimal system? A value so small that there isn't even a currency circulated for that amount by the US Department of Treasury. All calculations shown here are reasonable forms of multiplication, but which one remains consistent with observed universal phenomena? How would you like your money calculated? A nickel times a nickel equals what? A nickel is equivalent to 5 pennies. Then a nickel times a nickel should also equal a quarter. A nickel times a nickel, according to the calculator, is 0.05 times 0.05 equals 0.0025. Again, a value so small that there is not a currency circulated to represent it. How would you like your money calculated? A dime times a dime equals what? A dime is equivalent to 10 pennies. A dime times a dime should be equivalent to 10 pennies times 10 pennies. 10 pennies times 10 pennies is equivalent to 100 pennies, which is equal to $1. But a dime times a dime equals a penny according to a calculator. 0.10 times 0.10 equals 0.01. How would you like your money calculated? What is a quarter times a quarter? A quarter is equal to 25 pennies. Therefore, a quarter times a quarter equals 25 pennies times 25 pennies, which equals 625 pennies, which is 6.25 US dollars. Yet a quarter times a quarter, according to the calculator, is 0.0625. 0.25 times 0.25 equals 0.0625. How would you like your money calculated?
Allow me to enlighten you. If 4 over 2 is the inverse operation of 2 times 2 equaling 4, then it would naturally follow that 2 divided by 1, or 2 over 1, is the inverse operation of 1 times 1 equaling 2. So let's talk about this. What does your common sense tell you about these two scenarios? What do they have in common, and what are their differences? Division. The number 4 is divided by 2 twice. And the truth is, the number 2 is divided by 1 twice. The proof of that, if you had $2 and split it between 2 people, you would have to give each person $1 in order for it to be even. In addition, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 1 plus 1 equals 2. Subtraction, 4 minus 2 equals 2, and 2 minus 1 equals 1. Multiplication, 2 times 2 equals 4, and 1 times 1 equals 1. Does that make sense to anybody there? Does that seem like it's following any similar line of congruency? I mean, can you see where the mistake has occurred? Both of these scenarios are identical in every way. The only difference exists in dimension alone. If they add, subtract, and divide according to the same ratio, then they must also multiply according to the same ratio, plain and simple. If 2 over 1 is inconsistent with 1 times 1 equaling 1, although 4 over 2 is consistent with 2 times 2 equaling 4, then it should follow that 2 squared equals 4, which it does, and 1 squared equals 2. Yet the math and scientific community tells us that common sense and logic are wrong in this case because of a product of an arbitrary convention called the identity property. Let's discuss.